You guys are jamokes.
That's great because I could see his face go full panic. I could see the panic in his eyes. Whoa. Welcome to MetaZoo be with you, America's most favorite TCG podcast. I'm, of course, joined by the man, the myth, the person who saw me mostly shirtless tonight, Josh.
That's going to be the Patreon exclusive version.
Facts. I am also joined by the man who is a twinkle, twinkle, little star in all of our eyes, Louis George.
Everyone, I'm sorry last week I had my daughter's baby monitor on and I couldn't hear it in my ears, but everybody else apparently could hear it. Why did you two not say anything?
I listened back when everybody told me about it. I still did not hear it.
Yeah, so there was twinkle, twinkle, little star, a little bonus for everybody.
Every once in a while it picked up.
Yeah. That's the quality content you get here, Kitchen Table TCG, and we're joined by the qualityest of content, George. Welcome, dude.
Speaking of quality content, newest to top 1% on OnlyFans, George from Compete Sport.
Wow.
I want you to know if I could be top 1% on OnlyFans, you would never see me again.
That follows.
Or we'd see way too much of you.
Whatever you guys wanted to see.
Okay, this is a family-friendly podcast, so we're not going to talk about OnlyFans anymore. But we will be talking about Hasbro going to 0K. You guys
original,
didn't,
Louis.
Yeah, you guys didn't see that one coming in our titles this week. Unfinity is pamping or going
Unfinity to 1K.
Or going to 1K. Warhammer because it's not happening. The Lorcana intervention. We're going to talk about Lorcana on the podcast today, and we're going to try to get George to see realistically here. And then we're going to talk about nothing happening in all the other TCGs that we cover, and we'll talk about what that means. And then we're going to talk about MetaZoo. There is some, if you guys didn't know this, in these spell books, there are what is called full art aura cards, hollow auras. Pretty cool.
Wait, what? Hollow what?
Aura?
Aura, yeah.
Aura?
So, Louis,
Aura?
I need some seance. Do you have any place I can buy
I
seance?
do. We have my bundle is still available, everyone. CavDanesMarket.com.
But it's almost sold out, I think.
Well, it's almost going to be taken down, but sure. Yeah. Sure. If you want to call it that way.
That is not how you sell things. You are
I'm not going to
FOMO failing.
I'm not going to FOMO people into things. If you want the seance kit, it's at CavDanesMarket.com. Hope you buy it. All right. Hasbro, everyone. Let's chat.
Speaking of no FOMO.
Speaking of having no money left and no FOMO. So Hasbro, if you were not familiar, this week Hasbro released their end of quarter, so third quarter earnings report, which was poopy. That's the best. Yeah, George, I'm sure everyone's super stoked that they're down 40. What was it? 47% in revenue or something like that.
Well, that's great. Shows you didn't read it at all. So that's helpful. That's a good place to start. I'm glad.
What was wrong about that statement?
Their revenue met expectations. Their profit did not.
Profit. Sorry, I got my words wrong. Thank you for being here for correcting that on the podcast.
That seems like an important difference.
No, I totally agree that you shouted out. That didn't mean I didn't read the article or listen to it.
Did you listen to the article?
I started listening to the earnings call. You can do that on Robinhood. If you're a shareholder, you can listen to the earnings call. I did not listen to the whole
Robinhood.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Oh, wow, that's the most judgmental face. So do I.
Oh, you do not.
We're not all 1%. We're not all 1%.
I use several different brokerage.
They screwed over everybody with the GameStop stuff.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, but I don't invest in the GameStop stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any Jamie.
Oh, gross.
You know this. You can't say I don't have any and then call it by its stock ticker. That's a red flag. That man's portfolio has had some GameStop.
You're on George's side on this?
About time.
Yeah, I like
Welcome to the good side.
I like never bought Jamie, but I'm familiar with the meme. Like I'm
expose
on
the history. Let's do it.
I was on Reddit.
Pull up your Robinhood right now.
No. Anonymous, do your thing.
Okay.
Anonymous spends time on MetaZoo be with you. They've solved a lot of problems. You guys are listening to this in a very happy future, and I'm very happy for you.
All right, let's get right to it. Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. There was a section about Wizards of the Coast, which is Dungeons and Dragons, Magicthegathering. They were down either 14 or 16% in everything. So, what do you guys want to talk about with the article?
let's go over why this stock didn't do so hot. Are we going to address Rudy's video or no?
Rudy's second saddest video that I've ever watched of Rudy.
I don't remember his first. I'm sorry. It's about some topic I don't remember. Okay. So they met on revenue. They met Wall Street expectations of revenue. They fell decently short on profits. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that was actually what made Rudy kind of bummed out. I don't think that's what bummed Wall Street out. Now, first, I want to flag that Rudy is a shareholder. Me and Louie are also shareholders.
Is this like the Review Rudy podcast? Can we have our own take?
Well, you will in a second. So
okay.
Calm down, boo-boo. All four of us are shareholders. Welcome, Rudy, to the podcast. And
I'm barely a shareholder. Let's just make sure that's known.
That's great. And the part that I think made people frustrated was they said we have a ton of product that we haven't been able to move through. We still have a ton of boxes. And we think the problem is that our consumer is price sensitive at this point.
Yeah.
This combined with them skyrocketing the price on everything they can touch in the last few months didn't spark a lot of joy in anybody.
But it's not just skyrocketing the price. It's also producing a infinite amount more product than they have in the last years.
Yeah.
The more releases, 48, Rudy said he didn't remember the number, 48 secret layers so far this year alone. 48 secret layers. That's a lot of secret layers.
A lot of secrets.
All the products, all constantly being in, a cycle of spoiler season.
Spoilers, yeah.
It's just you can't enjoy anything, and so no wonder nobody buys anything.
I hate all these takes. I hate all these takes so much I cannot handle it.
What's your take then?
I have two takes on this. First, I think people overreacting. If I'm being honest, it's a slower economy. I think they just did the price increase this quarter. Consumers will take time to adjust to it. And the sets have sucked. That's been the bigger problem. Nobody had a problem paying extra for a Kamigawa. They had a problem paying extra for Capenna. The problem is the sets haven't been as good. Nobody complained about the price of Double Masters. The problem was the sets weren't bangers.
First off, people complained about the price of Double Masters being too expensive. Yeah.
I think they did.
Yes. A lot of people complained about Double Masters, George. New Capenna wasn't a bad set.
Capenna didn't suck, and Dominaria doesn't suck.
Capenna's issue, Capenna has the lands, and Capenna did pretty good on release. Capenna did pretty well. It's got the triumphs. Capenna, they just kept pumping supply. Okay. This is a mixture of increased supply and reduced demand as a result of increased pricing. When you raise your prices to a point where the average consumer cannot purchase a booster box of each set, that average consumer doesn't just say, okay, I'll buy this set and not the next. The consumer says, I'm done buying boxes. I'll buy singles. And that's what they do.
Okay. I think that's true. But let me paint for you a different picture. Okay? Let me bust out what's that painter guy that everybody loved? The happy little mountain guy? Bob Ross. Let me put out my Bob Ross. Wizards does it. They kill every distributor and every LGS. Everyone's closed.
Yeah.
Okay. Snap their fingers. They're not Theranos. No, that's
Thanos.
Holmes.
Thanos.
God,
They're
guys,
Thanos.
come on.
They're Thanos. They snap their fingers. Every LGS dies. What game?
Thanos did half though, right? I just want to make sure you understand the movie.
Shut up. What games survive in that environment? I can think of 2, maybe 3.
What do you mean? What games survive?
Magic would survive,
and Pokemon.
Pokemon would survive.
Yep.
You could convince me Yu-Gi-Oh could survive. They have that online client. You could convince me. I'm not convinced, but
there's one guy in my comment section who loves Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm still gonna say it. Yu-Gi-Oh sucks.
Okay, that doesn't matter. Shout out to that dude in the comment section. Those 3 games could survive. 2 would survive.
Okay.
I would argue to you that like WotC could make more money in that scenario than the current one.
Of course they could.
Well, if you're talking about the shareholders,
I'm not talking about the shareholders. I don't care about this is not a podcast for the shareholders. Maybe for you it is. This is a podcast for the effing players who want a place to play the game. You might not care if your LGS goes down, George, because you have all this other stuff to get money and whatever.
My LGS will never go down. You will bury me there.
I would like my players to have a place to play. I would like my players to have a place to enjoy the game and experience it with their friends and be able to invite other people. What? Like, you can't have that without distribution and without the system.
I agree, but my point is that I think, like, I'm wondering if Wizards' intent in this isn't to kill the LGS.
That does not surprise me at all.
At all. That's my point.
And like,
that like I think people are misreading this. I actually think it could be more dastardly than other people are talking about. This extra stock has to go one place. Where's it going, Louis?
Amazon.
Yeah. Oh.
And we already saw this last week.
And like those deals will be nothing.
$86
collector boxes that cost me almost double that. I think more than double that.
More than double
that. Yeah. Was it $54 draft boxes?
$54 draft boxes.
Again, we pay almost double that. Almost double that. So like I'm wondering if this isn't their move. They're just like, screw it. I'm done with the LGS. I've had my fun. We're going to go make some money now.
I mean, like that.
Josh, what's wrong with that analysis?
Like, okay, I see where you're coming from, but using the example that we just saw, where it was Crimson Vow. No, it was Midnight Hunt. Which one was it? It was Crimson Vow.
They're both the same. They're both the exact same set.
Okay. I think it was both of them.
If you bought both sets, I want your autograph. You're the only one in the world. Continue, Josh.
Please don't look at the shelf behind me. So it was Crimson Vow, but how long ago at this point did Crimson Vow release? How many LGSs, like regular day-to-day LGSs, not people who are holding stocks and shelves in the back of like pallets of this stuff? How many regular LGSs is selling Crimson Vow at $80 for a collector box and $56 for a draft box hurting for that moment? It's not the most recent set. It's a set people aren't going into their LGS to try to get anyway. Like, nobody's going to the LGS to buy it. That move is not hurting the LGS. If they did that with Dominaria United, something that's currently on the shelf, I think it hurts.
Well, let's wait to see what happens on Black Friday before we.
That's also crazy talk. That's also crazy talk. If somebody just bought a collector's box of AFR on Amazon for $90, that's $90 you're not spending at their favorite LGS.
It's also, Josh, still a standard set. Like Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt are still in rotation. This is not a set that's 3 years old or something like that. Like it's
a very recent set.
It's within the last year, I think.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'm a big wig massive LGS.
I think you are.
And I have all three. I'm planning on expanding. Now I'm freaking terrified to expand. But yeah, I have all three. I have all four of those products on my shelf. Crimson Vow collectors, Crimson Vow, all three of them. Set, draft. I have all that on my shelf. I sell booster packs. Every now and then we sell packs of all those still. People buy the commander decks and then they buy a couple booster packs to try to get some cards for them to upgrade.
Maybe that's more of a reflection on the kind of consumer I am then, because the thought that goes through my mind is
cats.
When I see this $86 collector box, that's not $86 I would have spent at my LGS. That's now going here. It's I see a deal and I choose to buy it because I'll never get it at this price, or I choose not to buy it because I don't want this product. If it was for sale for $86 at the LGS, it was fine. If Amazon had it for $5 off, for $10 off, 10%, I wouldn't buy it. But
this is more about consumer confidence than anything, I think. Why would I ever spend $120 on a Brothers War set box if Wizards is selling the set a year ago for $60 on Amazon. Why would I not just wait? Why wouldn't I just buy singles until that, and then when I want to open boxes, I'll buy the old ones because they'll be half the price.
Hold on, Josh.
Well, because
31 minutes, mark it down. First time Louis been read this podcast. I want to congratulate you.
It's also
Louis.
14 minutes in. So, but like,
the first 15 minutes were
in addition to that, as a store,
that follows.
As a store, like, I should just do pre-orders. This is the real play.
This is the problem.
I should tell my customers, I should say, look, I'm not buying a damn extra box. You're not going to be able to get a single pack at my store unless you pre-order, because I'm not buying a single extra thing from distribution. I'm going to wait till it's on Amazon at half my price. Then I'll start stocking it in my store because there's zero risk for me. I'll buy it for $53 on Amazon, which is about half my cost. And then it will be in my store, and then you can come in and buy it, and I'll make money. Why would I not do that?
With Crimson Vow, you're right, but where you're wrong is like Strixhaven, right? Like Strixhaven is a pretty well received set. People seem to like it. I think it's right in the middle of the road. It's not too high, it's not too low, and that's not for sale on Amazon for $86 and $54 respectively.
It set's like a million years old.
But it never was. Going forward, if we only see this with sets that didn't get picked up, that the community didn't really embrace and really suck up, what I don't understand. And again, I'm not saying that I'm wrong. I'm saying that's the perception that I have.
Here's what I think you're missing. Like, distros clearing out Kamigawa Draft. Like, yeah. That's a good set.
They were clearing out, not clearing out, but they had collectors too, like ample supply of collectors.
I mean, like what I think the problem right now, I think Wizards needs to, like, Wizards used to do one print run for collector. Then they went to 2. Then they went to 1 again. Now they're back to 2. Go back to 1.
This is a problem. Yeah. You're right. That's a problem.
I think, like, they also need to figure out what the hell is the point of draft and set. Like, I think it's complicated right now. I think, like, set, you get the same number of rares and mythics as draft, but you get a chance at the list.
You don't get the same number.
No, I think they're modified slightly. Yeah, I think they are.
I believe on average you get the same number you get with less packs.
No, you don't. Oh, yeah, maybe per box. Yeah. In a pack, you get more rares.
Right. I'm talking about on a box basis.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not talking about your customer who comes in every set and buys one booster pack to save for longevity, Louis. I remember that guy fondly. Shout out to that dude.
Okay.
That's my favorite dude.
So
that's also my favorite dude. So I mean, like, they need to differentiate those boxes a little bit more. I think that would be my recommendation.
And again, this is just from my side of the table. I think the boxes are set up nicely. I'm actually a fan of the way the boxes are set up. If they got rid of set boxes, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I like the collectors. I think you're onto something with collect boxes or collector boxes going back to one print. If they got rid of set boxes, I guess, but I like that set boxes are there for people to crack packs and open cards. And I like that draft boxes are there to play with the cards. But if they go back to one print run of collector boxes and they have draft boxes and distro just has draft boxes available for a long time, isn't that a good thing with the community the size of Magic the Gathering? It's the collector boxes that's the problem.
I think the draft boxes are a good thing. I think, honestly, draft boxes are too expensive. Like, I think at the distro level and all that stuff, and we can't share exactly the things, but the price difference between a draft box, I still think should be $100 box at the level of a store, and they raise all the prices at the same. I could understand raising the price of a collector box and making that a more limited product, and that being where Wizards makes more money. That seems understandable. Frankly, like, look at Double Masters collector boxes were a huge success for stores, for Wizards, for distribution, all the facets. Those boxes were a fantastic thing. The price was increased. Even as a consumer, you spent more money, sure, but your value was there. Like, that was a win across the board. But the draft boxes of standard sets seems like a loss across the board. But this is we're in the weeds, but
we're glossing over the bigger issue, in my opinion. Like, you guys have valid points. And again, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. From your side of the table, I don't live in that world, so I can't speak to that. I think the problem lies with current Magic the Gathering design. What is a standard set for? That standard set release, the Brothers War, what's it for? What are people gonna do with it? Like, why are we getting these boxes? I need a reason why the people want these boxes, because I can't find one right now. For what? What do you get?
Right.
What do you get a draft box for?
I'm very confused. Is to
What do
play
you
the
get a set
game
box for?
too obvious of an answer here? Like I'm very confused. Like you
was
seem to be
like,
going somewhere, and I'm not quite sure I'm following you because like I
What do
thought the point was to play the game.
Okay, when you open a set box, how is that enabling you to play the game? What
You can put the cards in your deck.
But what deck? Those cards are for standard decks. One or two of those cards is going to crack into another format. That's it. That's it.
But that's what it's
nobody's
been
buying a box for one or two.
That's how it's been all the
it's
time.
not.
Other than like you're just saying standard instead.
Well, no, standard's not
What a
dead.
weird
Standard's
episode
moved
where I'm agreeing with
online.
Louis so much. I don't like this. Josh, please stop. Like I don't like this.
I
This feels
want to
bad.
know.
This
You're
is
just
terrible.
said to
Like
play the game.
the only
Like-
thing that's changed is standard isn't popular right now.
So we call them standard sets. So the sets that they're for, the format that they're for, is not played in paper where they're printed. So my question is, if they're standard sets and nobody's playing paper standard, what are the sets like? We need another reason to have these boxes.
I think you just need to make standard a more fun format, or I mean, I
You
think
have to
there's
take it
still
off-
reason. Like people enjoy.
You have to take it offline.
Draft, like, is it draft an answer?
Occasionally, that's what the draft boxes are for. But what's the set box for?
I don't know how to answer this one, buddy. I feel like the answer is the cards in
God,
the set.
I don't like Josh. You're killing me. Josh, you're killing me. You're
I just want you- I
absolutely
wanna-
killing me.
I'm
My
sorry.
whole shtick on this podcast is disagreeing with anything Louis says. That requires Louis to be
I just want you to
consistently
I
and
want you to tell
constantly
me.
wrong. You're messing that up. You're messing that up, Josh. Okay,
That's fine. That's fine.
I will call Mitch back if you're not careful. Okay.
Can we bring it back
Do it.
to
I'll get some
Hasbro?
sleep.
Maybe we can talk about standard sets in another time. Let's bring it back. Like, here's the thing that I think we haven't addressed yet, and probably
Can I
the
say
big
one
thing.
more thing?
Yes,
I just got to defending you. You simmer down.
I don't want you to defend me.
I don't want to defend you. We have that in common. We agree again. So, like, when the way the boxes usually worked, this will go into, I think, where we just were without Josh's making Louis
Can we
in the
not
genius.
go there again?
Distro would call you and say, "Hey, we're getting last call from Watsy."
Yeah.
And, you know, a smart business person would boop, 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 back up that truck. So I always order a pallet every set that goes out of print. And usually they get one more print run, and that goes all to the smaller stores. Shout out to Louis and other people who, they exist. And like, this is usually fine for people like me, right? We usually, sell some boxes to our customers, and then like the boxes appreciate and we're happy. The last time this happened was with a set. I can't name which one because I think this is like embargoed information. And I went to go look and see if it was still in stock at distributor. They had thousands of boxes left after last call.
Yeah.
Thousands at one distro.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what does last call mean?
I mean, it's hey, it's last call, but we still have it. It's like a bar
It
that
also
never
means,
closes. It's like a bar that never closes. It's like, hey guys, last call, but we're open. Like, this is the last hour of drinks, but we open in an hour.
I mean, like, bullshit, that was last call. You're telling me that's all they have? Bull. They got more with the Legends boxes at Watsy.
Okay.
I mean, like, I think that the print runs maybe got a little out of control here. We got wind it back.
So this is where I go back to. I'm going to say it again on this episode, just in case he didn't hear it last episode. I want to get back to the Hasbro goes to 0K. This is where Mark Rosewater needs to spine up. Like, the dude is just getting, like, he needs to advocate for the game. I will say, like, I love Rudy's take that it's the best game managed by the worst people. It just seems like nobody is advocating at all at that level, and that he's just like, okay, yeah, you need more money, let's print more boxes, let's do more secret layers, let's do this, that's that, and nobody is protecting the integrity of the collectible. Nobody's protecting the integrity of the Josh, what you're saying, of having a standard set that stays in rotation, that's fun and that's enjoyable. That's not the focus anymore. The focus is, how do I make Papa Hasbro more money? How do I make you more money? Yeah.
Thank God you started talking so you could be wrong again. That makes me so happy. Thank you.
Why is
talking.
that wrong?
Thank you for you talking and not Josh. This company is amazing. You might you all can be cranky all you freaking want. Nobody else is on their level. Nobody else is on their level.
I totally agree with that.
So I think this idea it's a great
Stop.
game.
I disagree with that. Pokemon is beyond that level.
Oh, you've been on this hype train.
Pokemon,
You've been on this train.
Listen,
I'm not doing this. No,
Pokemon is beyond that level.
PokeTuber incoming.
Not like Pokemon gets it. Pokemon sells direct to consumer, right? But they do so in a way that's not completely screwing over their business to business partners. Yeah, I mean, you want to get into it? Let's get into it.
I did not. I guess I didn't want to get into this. I just said this.
You said nobody else does it. Pokemon does it. It's doable. You can.
He did say he takes it back and one person does it, and then he said,
"Did you say that?"
Yeah,
you did. You did.
As long as you admit Pokemon does it, we can move on.
I don't, but that's okay. They just did. They have done I get that this week it's been really fun to dunk on Wizards. I get that. And listen, I'm not opposed to dunking on companies. Y'all know that. But I think maybe we're overreacting again. They missed profits in a quarter.
That's not what this is about.
They have too many products. They missed their market a little bit. I'd say let's give them a quarter and see where we are. If they keep doing this, if they don't fix their mistakes, I think it's perfectly reasonable to be hey, y'all keep messing up. But again, I go back to this. I think the problem is the sets haven't been that great. AFR was a dumpster fire. Total dumpster fire of a set.
AFR was a year ago. We're talking about sets that were
what? Nick, what's the last good set other than Kamigawa?
Dominaria was a great set. It's fun to play. The draft was fun. The themes were fun. The cards were really good. You're just looking at the money, George. All you're focusing on is the market. You're not talking about
the market tells you the set. The market tells you there was demand for the set or not.
There was demand for Dominaria.
Then what's the problem?
The supply. The supply and the lack of consumer confidence. When you screw over the consumer this much. And another thing is when you screw over the stores this much,
I think, yeah.
Good.
I was saying the only problem I think you missed with Dominaria is it's the first set under the price increase. I think that's a leading into it as well.
The consumers rejected the new price. Consumers are saying, I don't want to pay. We're not paying $135 for a set box.
There's been one set under the new price.
And it's been it's a good set.
Objectively, I'm saying it's maybe we should give it two sets before we declare it over. I'm just get spitballing here. Maybe we should give it two sets before we go. Price increase sucks.
So
I guess I think I get it. This is the world we live in. I'm sure that this measured approaches don't get the responses, but I think that we need to
did George win?
Did you just advocate for measured approaches?
I did.
God, comment section. If you don't light him up for that, you're not doing your job.
I wasn't going to do this today.
Nobody believes that.
Listen,
God, Michelob Ultra?
Yeah.
It's a new one every week.
Comment section
has something to say.
A lot of work to do
everything
this
I
week.
say.
Did you really just crack open a Michelob Ultra like a proud MF? Look at this comment section. Chink. Oh yeah, that's fresh. That's refreshing, baby.
I think that this news would have been received, but would have been received a little bit differently had it not been 3 days after the massive Amazon sale.
I think that's true, and they completely messed up their PR. They completely whoever wrote that. Whoever gave the quotes for that article, maybe should find an unemployment line.
So
take that for measured. Saying that that our consumer is price sensitive, and that's why we missed on profit but not revenue. Listen, I don't know. I think maybe I would have waited till next quarter to drop that bomb if I were y'all.
So I think the other side of this is Wizards could have done more to communicate to the LGS. What I would love to hear is, okay, here's the Hasbro crap, the shareholder earnings. Where is the conversation from Rosewater to the LGSs? The thing we got recently was, hey, LGSs, we're going to sell $1,000 kit. Thank you so much for being part of the 30-year anniversary.
You're welcome, Morrow.
Here's the free kit, but we're going to take all the profit and all the other stuff. Okay. What I would have loved to see is a response. I would still love to see a response to this in some way, a conversation about what their intentions are with sets. We were talking about, are they just going to put the bad sets that don't sell to stores on Amazon? Why didn't stores have the opportunity to buy a discounted rate at these boxes instead of them selling to Amazon? If you would have gone to stores directly and said, hey, look, after Amazon, we'd make like $40 a box. If Amazon, I don't know what they take after shipping fees, whatever, we'll sell you these boxes for $40 a box. Like, give it to the LGSs and work on that relationship rather than just like competing on the market and completely screwing the entire, culture of what you built over 30 years.
And I think this is where I think Wizards has a weird problem. I don't know if they take their responsibility to the TCG space at all seriously, and certainly not as seriously as they should. There's two stores I know of that have LGSs that don't carry Magic, and they're both mainly online. 95% of their sales are online.
Sure.
They're not LGSs, they're Amazon with nicer owners. I think if I could have one question for Mark Rosewater, now I won't because Louis has uninvited him, obviously. But if Mark Rosewater were ever come on, my honest question would be like, do you feel that Wizards has a responsibility to the TCG and LGS space? Because if you do, I do wonder if you're thinking through the net result of some of these actions. And if you don't, God bless. God bless. I get it. Make your cash, king. And then I think it's just time for LGSs to realize we're on borrowed time. If Wizards doesn't feel a responsibility to the LGS, and I'm saying they do or don't, I'm saying I'd love to know from Mark Rosewater if he thinks they do. If he thinks that if they don't have an obligation to the TCG LGS space, we're dead. We're totally dead. So let's not worry about it.
Let me ask you. You just told me earlier that Wizards there's two games that would survive without the LGS, Pokemon and Magic. So if Magic doesn't need the LGS, why would they do it? And this is not me saying there isn't one, but what's the benefit that the LGS brings Magic then?
I would argue there's two things. And I've told this to newer card games that have fought me on this. The second Wizards thinks that LGSs are net negative for the bottom line, they're done. That's my opinion.
Sure.
They think that they can make more money selling me boxes and you boxes versus just you boxes and my consumers boxes. They think that they can push through more product at higher prices through an LGS right now. I do wonder if that's starting to change. I do think the number that stood out to me was the secret layers. I also think there is a benefit to good PR. And I think that is their big benefit to LGSs is I pump their products 7 days a week.
So this is a great response to that question. Mark Rosewater recently said on his blog, somebody asked him a question, blah, blah, blah. He said, the stat I give out is that the vast majority of tabletop Magic players, over 75%, don't know what a Planeswalker is, don't know who I am, don't know what a format is, let alone know any of the particular format. Don't frequent Magic content on the internet, including this blog. They are far less knowledgeable about the game than an enfranchised fan realizes. So according to him, 75% of the players don't interact basically with an LGS.
That completely passes my smell test.
There was so much more said there.
Smell test.
Why is
There's so much more?
What do you think?
That they don't know what a Planeswalker is, that they don't know what formats are. 75%. That does not follow to me.
So
You cannot sell me a world where 75% of Magic players in 2022 don't know what a planeswalker is. You
That's
cannot sell me that.
The planeswalker.
There's not a chance, or that they don't know what a format is.
The format one I think is fair. I played Magic for a year before I ever stepped foot in an LGS. I stepped foot in the LGS with a 60 card deck. I knew Magic had to be 60 cards. I sat down and played, and I put out a Bringer of the Red Dawn, and Return to Ravnica was the standard set. And somebody said, you can't play that card. It's 10 years old. I said, what are you talking about? It's a Magic card. And they're like, you can't play that. It's not in standard. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you know that their mama was standard?
No, but he said, Judge, and he rose his hand. He asked for a judge.
He did not. He did not.
Hey, your first judge call is terrifying. It's a terrifying experience. But
no way. I love the judge calls. I insist they call judges on me whenever there's even the slightest of disagreements.
That's an enchanting story, but that was your first year of playing Magic. 75% of the Magic community is not in their first year of playing Magic.
I disagree with you.
You think 75% of the Magic community, 75% of all Magic players ever are in the first year of playing Magic?
No, but I think 75% probably have never stepped foot in LGS. Or they have stepped foot in LGS to buy a box and then bounce.
Listen. If the average Magic player length, which we know this is true, well, we know this is assumed based on the
Alta Fox
article. If the average Magic the Gathering player length is 3 years, then a minimum of 33% would be. And now you're saying that everything is equal.
That's how statistics work, but continue.
I'm saying like the majority of people, it's like somebody who watches a YouTube video. Most people don't watch the entire video. Most people bail off in the first.
Wait, if you stop watching this video at any point, just unsubscribe and leave. Continue,
no, you will miss.
Don't listen to the ugly guy below me.
You are never welcome back if you do that.
You were gonna miss the shirtless George Tiki Bar ending. But sure. But then
hold on.
Look at Louis' face.
They subscribe.
We're not even addressing this. That same article, I'm trying to push forward. You guys are jamokes.
That's great because I could see his face go full panic. I could see the panic in his eyes. This is a great time to say, if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like it, subscribe, hit the bell.
Should we do a little 10 seconds right now? You can leave a comment in the comment section.
Leave a comment. Don't forget to share it. That's great for the algo.
Yeah. All right. Continue, Josh.
Share it with your grandma. She'll love this content, especially the first part. Continue, Josh.
Bringing it back together. The article does go on to say a certain percentage of a very high percentage of those players. I don't want to say the wrong number on this podcast. I know what that does to you.
Facts.
A high percentage of those players then come back to the game.
Yeah.
Like that is them for the first 3 years.
Right.
However, 6 years from then, a certain percentage of those first 3 have come back and now know what all that stuff is. So the players have grown, and the number of players who don't know that have gotten smaller.
Coffee grinds. No.
So
gross.
I see what you're saying. I agree with you. I think what Rosewater doesn't understand, which he should, but maybe
is all of this.
How have you guys turned me into the Rosewater fanboy? What has happened?
Quote is terrible. That quote is terrible. 75% of players don't know Planeswalkers.
He also spelled he also forgot the S in Planeswalkers. Everybody was like, wait, I don't know what a Planewalker is either.
Did he end with MetaZoo be with you?
He did not. But what I think he misses, and he should understand based on basic knowledge of the world, is the 80-20 rule, right? like you might say that 75% of your player base is disenfranchised and doesn't, but the top 20% are going to spend 80% of the money. This is you guys don't know what the 80-20 rule is?
We do. We don't. I think that might disprove your point versus prove your point.
No, because
if you use any higher grade meat than that to make tacos, they're not going to turn out well.
He's saying
that's also true.
He's saying that 75% of the people aren't enfranchised and aren't the people who are complaining about issues in Magic the Gathering. That might be true. 75% of the people might be patting your back, Mark Rosewater. Good job. But the other 25% of the people are the people who are spending 80% of the money. That's the point. They're the ones who are buying boxes, are enfranchised, are investing in product, are playing in all the formats, have 15, 20 commander decks, are buying singles on the market. The 75% of the people who don't care about the game don't really matter.
Like, listen, you can't tell me
Whoa.
that the people that
What?
don't, you can't tell me we're out here to fan service the people who don't know what the game is, don't interact with the game, are going to quit the game and never come back. Like, I that community doesn't mean anything to me. Like, the people that are going to leave Magic are not going to invest themselves in it and enjoy it and are just going to leave. Why are we worried about appeasing that portion of the community? I want to appease the portion of the community that wants to be here to stay, that wants to engage with the hobby, even at a casual level, even if they don't know what a planeswalker is, which that is nigh impossible right now.
Yeah, I know. He just seems he's disconnected. He's disconnected from the player base.
That's terrifying to say. Saying the phrase Mark Rosewater is disconnected from Magic the Gathering is a terrifying phrase.
He is on one of the Unfinity planets compared to Earth. That's how disconnected he is.
God,
that went so bad. That went so bad for you. That transition
didn't go great.
Was a huge flop.
I didn't even realize I was transitioning, but that brings up a great point. We can transition now to talking about Unfinity.
That was just your statement without trying to transition. That was, oh my Lord, Louis.
What percentage of the player base knows about Unfinity lands, Louis? Tell us.
Okay, Unfinity completely pamping. Pamping is what is pamping?
Word of the day.
It's
word of the month.
Why?
It's like pumping, but pamping. I don't know.
Why?
George, because George. Yeah. Because George. Yeah. I didn't tell you. I told you guys I was going to save this. I didn't tell you in the intro or in the beginning. I have no joke. I have 3 emails of people saying, "Hey, I heard you were opening a bunch of product. Do you have any full art lands left? Do you have any swamps left? Do you have any whatever?" Of which I'm 100% sold out of. I opened 50 boxes I'm out of. But I have said, no, I ordered 60 more boxes this week and I'll have more on Friday. So me and my wife we might stream it. We might stream me and my wife opening up 60 boxes of Unfinity this weekend. But
that is fantastic use of unpaid labor.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Listen, Unfinity is going nuts. That's great.
I also am here. I've heard rumors that there are not purchase orders from a couple different distros for more products.
Let's be very careful here.
That's why I said rumors.
No, let's wing it.
All right, I'm in. Fine. This is it. Buy them now.
What's your understanding? I'm not telling people. No,
I'm in with you, Louis. Ride or die, baby.
Do not FOMO into it.
This is going to 1K. Do you guys want on the ride or off the ride?
That's
the only thing that's left.
They're attractions. They're not rides.
It's not going to 1K. But I think the supply. Well, probably not. I don't even think the first unset is at 1K right now. Isn't that like a $700 box? But I don't think we're going to see more supply anytime super soon from going into distro. Distro still has boxes though.
Distro's selling fast.
Yeah. There. One distro I think was out of collector boxes this week. The other distro that I met with still had collector boxes, but
yeah, the one's like almost out of not out. I think the others are.
I think collector boxes are sitting though. I don't think that's the play. I think draft boxes.
You get look. There's 20 draft boxes sold on TCG Player today at the day we recorded this podcast.
What's TCG Player at?
105.75.
Okay, so that's pretty stable. It shot up to 110 in the middle of last weekend.
I definitely wouldn't call it unstable.
There you go. That was pretty good.
God, you guys are costing Louis subscribers faster than you can gain them.
Doing my best.
Anyway, the set seems like it's holding up really true. I think draft are better. Again, I think we've said this a couple times, but you get three shock lands on average per draft box.
Galaxy shocks are legit rare.
Yeah, yes, they are. They are legitimately hard to come by.
Rare.
Okay,
and that's rare for Magic.
That's fair.
They don't do rare cards very often.
Their average price is about $120 though.
I think that's listen.
Ooh, that's a dangerous take, George. That's a dangerous take.
I think that's low.
No, hot take on the Galaxy shocks. They're not different enough to be like I like the Galaxy foiling. They're a niche. Like there's a certain person who wants that extra flash. I think the better take, in my opinion, is that the non-foil shocklands are going to be more desirable because people who are playing the formats that don't want foils because they curl, they're hard to like. You can differentiate it in your deck.
What do you think that is?
Why? Really?
Can you find me another card that has non-foil higher than foil?
I'm not saying they're going to be higher, but I'm saying you get more of them compared to the foils in the collector boxes. So that
like they've got something going for them.
If they are at even price or there's hardly any differential, then the draft boxes are a much better buy when you get basically one extra shockland per box compared to the collector boxes for half the price.
They've got it going for them. They're rare as they're full bordered shocklands, right? So that's cool. But if I see foil and non-foil for the same price, there's no way I'm not buying the foil one. Like there's no chance.
Yeah. All right, big shout out to Morrow for killing on this set, buddy. Good job, Morrow. That's why I've always loved you, unlike other people in this podcast.
Shout out to Morrow. This was a good set. This one was good. Josh, I don't think that I want to go back to that take. Louis? I want to go back to that take, Josh.
Spinning like a top. Continue.
I'm just honest, George. Like I have no connection to Morrow. I don't like some things he does. I like some things he does.
I love Morrow is my homie.
Yeah, that follows. Josh, I think that the non-foil ones might be more rare.
They might be more rare. I don't think people are going to covet them more.
That's
even if they are more rare.
I don't think that's possibly true.
Yes, it is. You get a non-foil. You get a foil shock in every single draft
box.
And collector box, and you only get foil shocks in the collector boxes.
Yep.
But you only get non-foil shocks.
3 non-foils on two or three non-foils on average.
You get 1.8 non-foils per draft box, and then you get your foil.
Are you sure? I think I pulled higher than that. I pulled 17 shots. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You have no clue what you pulled. What did Tyler pull?
I have opened.
No, he opened product.
I have opened more Unfinity.
He's got blisters on his fingers.
I mean this. Oh my God, that's true. I have opened more Unfinity than any box in my life.
I was doing the math on how fast I could open up a booster box, and George was I was on the phone with George. I can open an Unfinity box in on average between 8 and 9 minutes, and George was like, "It takes me over a minute to open every pack."
Yeah, like what the hell?
Hey, the Unfinity packs. I opened a draft box. It seemed like the packs like fell apart. They were opened very easily. Like as soon as I went like this, the pack like came apart.
The Unfinity collectors open hard. Also, can we talk about this? They use the world's thickest plastic on these boxes. What is up with that, Morrow? Leave a comment below about why you guys had to buy the world's thickest plastic to protect this box. Were you all afraid of the hurricane in Florida? Is that what was going on here? Like, Morrow, you're killing me, buddy.
Yeah.
No longer goat.
All right, Unfinity pumping. Yeah. So if you don't have the shocks you want, I would say the next 2 weeks are probably the time to get them. If we don't get a restock. Now, if we do get a restock, things could go down. But I think
could crater.
I think any store that had supply probably has already started cracking them because they probably got the message that it's easier to open them. But it'll be interesting to see what happens to actual boxes moving forward. But all right, Warhammer. Hearing that the supply very low of the restock, and one distro didn't get theirs this week, like they said they were going to get it. So Warhammer decks, what's the play? I have no clue.
That was a surprise restock.
Yeah.
My hunch is that like if there's a surprise restock, there could be a second surprise restock. Don't know that. Just a fat man's hunch. Not speculating. Not scooping. Just guessing.
I will be very, very, very surprised if we don't see more Warhammer decks at some point.
The question is this year or next year?
I think the question is this year or next year. I think the question is like how big is it too?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be big.
So
I think it'll be big.
Somebody was sending me some messages and they were talking about the heads you win, tails you lose commander decks. That was a secret layer that's been delayed now like a bunch of times. And the scoopy on it is that basically that like the way that this is my understanding of it. like the people who are in charge of secret layers are getting outbid by the people outbid at the printer by the people who are printing or who are responsible for booster boxes and collector booster and regular things. So
if that's true, I will concede everything about Morrow. Okay, if that's true,
I'm out. Bidding war that's causing product delay.
Yes,
and cost to increase.
This is
and they're increasing their own costs.
If that's true, I take back everything I said. And Morrow, shame on you.
This is what's
Morrow. You have a lot riding on this podcast, buddy.
Listen, I am. There's been some things I'm not sure about. I'm actually pretty confident in this one.
Listen, if that's true, my earlier take that there are deeper issues is on point because there's
100%
deeper issues. What?
So yeah, so to get Warhammer into the printer, they will then have to compete with more and more things. And I mean, all this stuff lines up again, going back to George, Pokemon has their crap together better than Magic because their answer to that was, let's just make our own printers. Let's just screw this competing. Let's just go make our own printers.
My thought went to, I'm going to start releasing my podcast and gameplay content at the exact same time as this and advertise it on this podcast.
Listen,
let's just cannibalize ourselves. There's no chance.
This is chance. You don't think that's listen?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty confident in it.
I love that Scooby.
Wow.
I'm pretty confident in it.
I love it. I don't think I believe it, but I love it nonetheless.
Listen,
I really could run a division of a company then. Like I could 100% do
it's the issue is it's a bottleneck. The printer is the bottleneck. And they're releasing so many products that the printer can't keep up.
Magic printer go burr, dude. What do you mean?
Why are you looking at the camera so stupidly, George?
I mean, like, I'm not convinced of this. I'm not convinced of your Scoopy, but like, I don't know.
The point being, in order to get Warhammer, it's going to be a while. I think we probably see these decks. They were already delayed. I think we probably don't see them till like February.
Listen, the question is before or after Christmas.
I don't think
if it's after Christmas, hold on to your butts. If it's after Christmas, hold on to your butts for these.
If it's after Christmas, does it go to you or does it just come out on Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Probably just Amazon.
I knew.
So I think we will see a very small restock of these over the next couple weeks. Can you name
a product other than Time Spiral Remastered we have not had a chance at a restock that's been on Amazon? I can't think of one. So help me Christ if you say Time Spiral Remastered after I just said other than Time Spiral Remastered. I could see it in your stupid beady eyes.
I can't think of another.
I can't think of one either.
Listen, man, you break my heart once. That's
I was about to say,
break my heart once 3 years ago.
It was a year and a half ago, George.
It was not. It was not. I don't think. I don't think it was.
It was 100%.
After the start of the pandemic.
Yeah, I think it might be like closer to 3. I think it might be more than 3 years, Louis.
Is everyone currently Googling Time Spiral Remastered release date?
I'm Googling right now. March 19th, 2021. So I was 100% right a year and a half ago. Literally almost to the month. Yes. March 29th, 2021.
I have to double check this. I don't believe you. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that nicely, so I'll just say it honestly. I will speak my truth.
His story checks out. Checks out. I Googled it because I didn't trust him either.
Wow.
Okay, good.
Wow. George, you were wrong so much more consistently now. It's nice just to be able to...
When you talk about Magic, it gets wrong fast, I'll be honest. That should shock none of you followers.
So speaking of shocks, sorry.
Shocklands, Unfinity.
We're going back to Unfinity. I'm in.
Anyway, Warhammer, I would say if you have not yet, reach out to your LGS, tell them that you want to pre-order for the next wave. Like, this is serious. Like, if you're listening...
What? No! Don't do that.
What?
Do not do that to your LGS, who has no idea if they're getting a restock, how much you're going to get in their restock. Don't do that.
Well, at least put your name in to say, hey,
let them, you don't have to pressure them and say, gosh darn it, you better get. You say, hey, if you do get one, no, I'm interested. Thank you.
Louis,
have a great day. I'll see you on Tuesday for Magic.
I need a Warhammer deck set. What would you do?
I still have them in stock. I would sell you one right now.
Wait, you haven't sold out?
No. What? Why are you two looking at me like I'm stupid? Why are you looking at me like that?
I think that's great.
Like, I haven't sold out because like my community is smaller than what I order. Is this news to anybody? Like, I order a lot of product.
I don't know. I just got double team dunked on earlier, so I wanted to jump on the other side of the argument for a while.
Welcome back, baby. We're in.
This content is so great. What would you do, George, if I came to you and asked, "Hey, I want some more"?
I got some left.
Okay. Cool. Like, what do you think? What is that?
I don't actually think I do have any left. Just so we're clear, I might have one or two.
I will happily sell you one. Okay. Are we done? You were trying to diss me, but then it didn't work. All right.
It kind of worked.
Let's move on. Good Lord. The Lorcana intervention. All right, George, tell us all about your Lorcana addiction.
You mean the set I sold for $8,000 last week? That addiction?
Yeah, you sold and made all your money back. Good job. Listen.
I learned. You will never catch me dying with bags again. Ever. Mark this down. I will sell enough to get back to break even before the inevitable collapse.
Love it. I want it to be on the record.
That is not what I'm referring to, Josh. So like, here's why I'm talking about this now. A PSA 10 set, which I think is important, sold for $25,000 this week.
Wasn't it sequential too?
It was.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, like if any set was worth $25,000, it'd be that set.
That's impressive. Like,
did you say 25,000?
Yeah, I don't care about the number. It's impressive that they got a sequential PSA 10 set. That's pretty cool. All
right, you guys, listen to me. Listen to George.
You're allowed to have one take here, and I'm listening.
You will find very few people who believe in Lorcana more than me. Please don't spend $25,000 on a set of Lorcana cards.
Thank you.
I'm begging you. Here's what I will warn you. You might be caught on the sidelines when they go to $100,000.
Not happening.
That could absolutely happen. Don't listen to Louis. He's an idiot.
Are we doing the when it's around in 10 years conversation again?
But
if Lorcana is around in 10 years, these cards can pay for your kids' college tuition, your house. They can pay off your credit card debt. Rack up the credit cards, everyone. If Lorcana's around in 10 years, you'll be set.
If you will also miss out on it going back down to a reasonable number. I will say there's only 900. I want to keep that in mind. But listen. Don't overspend for this. I'm begging you. I'm not saying it won't continue to go up for a little bit. I'm saying we have seen this movie before. Can we please change the channel? And I say this as somebody who believes Lorcana will win the market. But listen to me. That doesn't mean this set is going to be worth $25,000. I don't think it should be. If you want a set for $25,000, hit my DMs. I got you, boo.
If I knew we were going to talk about this, I would have put together pools of reserve list cards that you could buy for $25,000.
Don't buy that either. Don't buy that either.
Why not?
One is a much smarter buy.
I mean, like, on the scale of stupid, they're both on the stupid side, in my opinion, though. So, like, I guess it's like one is smarter and that it's slightly less stupid.
Okay.
But like, and we're hearing a whole podcast about TCGs. All TCGs are probably inherently kind of silly to invest in, and yet here we are.
Like, don't be like Louis and sell your Disney stock for cardboard. You end up losing.
This is true.
Yeah, I know it's true. Like
the giggle after the comment did it for me. I almost died.
Like listen to me. Don't do this. Like, I believe in Lorcana. Please, you guys, don't be stupid.
Like,
okay, all right. Let me first off say, I was not wrong. Okay, I want to very, very clearly present
about selling your Disney stock for cardboard.
No, about Lorcana. I am not surprised at all that Lorcana, those cards shot up. These sales don't surprise me at all. They don't. My point on Lorcana is what happens when the boxes come out. That is, in my opinion, the most. What are you two looking at me for?
Shot up and sold for $25,000 are two very different statements.
Doesn't surprise me.
I'm not surprised they went up in value.
That doesn't frankly, I think that for the PSA 10 set, that number is lower than I would have estimated that it would end up being at.
And it might go higher.
Like, my point with Lorcana from the very beginning is we don't know how many boxes they are going to produce. Ravensburger isn't. Ravensburger, stop. Let me talk.
Listening to somebody who backed Polywog give advice on print runs is the new height of this podcast.
I don't even care.
Can you please stop bringing up Polywogs?
No.
I literally backed it because a friend of a friend of a friend knows it, the guy.
No.
That's.
I don't even care. I don't even care about that. People are willing to spend money in very.
Josh,
they're willing to make poor financial decisions with Lorcana. We've now seen that.
I hate to be the one that has to tell you this. To break your heart. It's like I imagine breaking my kid's heart right now. It's sad.
I don't sit on you and kill you.
I don't want you to have a broken heart.
This is a sexy podcast.
But Josh, buddy, $25,000 to you and me is a much different number than the person who is spending $25,000 on these PSA 10s.
Sure, that's fine.
It would be like me buying a $1,500 Pokemon card. I shouldn't do it, but if I do it, it's not going to kill me. It's not going to be the end of the universe.
Listen. And let me be very clear. If you're listening to this podcast and you're a multi-millionaire and you I gotta have it now, God bless. I don't care. That's good for you. Great for you. Go buy it.
So
if you want one, call me. But I'm talking about to the normal person. Please don't buy a set of Lorcana at this price.
It doesn't surprise me because of the limited nature.
Not financial advice. I'm saying I wouldn't buy it. Continue.
Because of the limited nature of this does not surprise me. What will surprise me is if boxes come out and if supply isn't stupidly high. Again, I've said it.
Okay, Louis,
honestly, let me finish my quote. Oh wait, that's the meme, right? Let me finish. The Magic, the Hasbro thing is everything that I'm trying to say about Lorcana. Hasbro, in their thing, they use one of their statements was, we lost revenue, we lost money, profits because of the amount that it costs to have these IPs in Magic the Gathering, right? Ravensburg is going to lose money because they have to spend money to get Disney. They are starting in the hole. They are starting in negative. What?
I'm letting you finish.
They have to produce enough boxes to cover for Disney IP plus all the other things that all these other games have to cover. So they will have to make more boxes, infinitely more. They're going to overprint it.
Okay, let me ask you a question before I get into why that's probably wrong. How many should they print?
Oh, God, I have no clue. They should.
So you don't know, before you say they're going to overprint, shouldn't you know what they should print?
No, I know that they will print too many. So if I were.
How can you know that if you don't know what they should print?
If I were them, I would do wave printing.
What would the first wave be?
50,000.
So you think there's as much demand for Lorcana as there is for sorcery, roughly?
There was 30,000 boxes of.
I'm talking about wave 1 and wave 2. I'm talking about the Kickstarter and the first wave of sorcery. So you think there's roughly the same amount of demand for sorcery and Disney's TCG?
I don't know how many wave 2 sorcery is going to be.
Let's say it's 20,000. Let's say there's 50,000.
I think that the Lorcana, the trading card game demand is. Well, we saw this with Magic. What was the predicted print on numbers? What came out? That thing that came out about Kamigawa with the number of whatever.
Yeah,
they're like 100 to 200,000 boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Let me go back to my first question here, that you didn't answer. I noticed. So you think there's roughly the same demand?
No.
Me
There's
neither.
an increased demand.
Okay, me too. So I would think the number would be higher than 50,000 for a good print run. I think 50,000 would be too low.
Not for wave 1. If you're gonna have another wave in 3 months, same product, the exact same thing.
This is going through distribution. This is going to LGSs. You're Louis. If there's 50,000, these boxes are gonna be $10 million. This is gonna be stupid time.
I totally disagree. What do you think the right number should be? What do you think the right number should be, George?
About 100.
So it goes from stupid time to twice the print run. There's no space in between there.
Difference. Double the print run. There's been a few games I've heard rumors of that did roughly double the print run and it didn't go so hot.
So, but like if you're going to have more product in 2 months, 3 months, whatever it takes to say, okay, initial supply sold out. We saw it hit the market. There's a shock. We need more supply. That's print another one. It'll be in hands in 3 months. That's enough to slow the market down. People knowing that will happen. I think 50,000. I think 100,000 too much. So that's my take.
My take on this is just going back to what the set sold for. I mean, Louis, you made a point like the person who bought this $25,000 to them is probably not as much, it doesn't mean as much to them as it would to us or maybe even our average listener. However, what it does say to me is there are people out there that are willing to commit a certain portion of the money they have available to this without knowing much because it's Disney and it's promised to be a collectible card game. That's it. That's all we know. But that to me means the average consumer will be willing to do the same. They won't be willing to commit $25,000, but they will be willing to buy a box or two and give this game a shot. So I think you're going to need more boxes. I really will. I think there's an opportunity for a lot of boxes to fly off the shelf here.
I love how you have faith in every single new TCG in the universe.
No, that's not my point.
Except for the one that has Disney IP and a team that's made games for 15 years behind it. For them,
not
don't
TCGs.
Trust. No faith.
It's the exact opposite.
None of these games you promote or back have ever made a TCG before. None. Not one of them. You didn't have a problem. But this one with no has Disney IP. I don't believe in it.
Listen, I'm not saying I don't believe in it. Nope. I'm saying I don't believe that they will control the print run. I'm saying I don't believe that they will be able to manage and control a print run and actually. We haven't seen any increase. Hold on. We haven't seen any increased advertisement for this. We haven't seen any excitement, any hype. We saw it. Listen, we haven't.
This is hype right now. There's $25,000 of cards that's sold.
That's it. That's what we're doing. We're relying on massive sales on stuff to sell.
What else do you want to rely on a year out from the game? Like, what do you think they could be doing today?
I want advertising. I want to know is this going? I want them saying, "Hey, this is going to be advertised in on Disney Plus. You're going to see a little advertisement for that kind of thing." If they're going to do stuff like that, then I think the hype is real and there will be increased demand. But if this is just a game that Ravensburg is putting out and just licensing through Disney, then this is going to be a miss. Listen, there are 160 people in the biggest Lorcana marketplace Discord server. Sorry, that's just offline. So 240 people in the biggest Lorcana Discord server. That's one of the.
Wait, I'm the one that's bigger than that. That can't be true. I'm the one that's bigger than that.
This is the Lorcana marketplace.
Do you want me to invite you to the big one?
Yeah, invite me right now. Let's see what happens.
So, I think the thing you're missing, Louis, is it's going to have a bigger shot. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm with you. I'd love to see advertisements for Disney Plus. I'd love to see Disney commit to this and lean in. I'd see it mentioned in the previews at the cinema.
You invite me. I don't believe any words that you say.
How do I do? Oh, invite. Hold on.
So Josh, I think if this was a Disney product, not a licensed game, I would have a massive ton of belief in this game. Okay.
Crocs.
Yeah. Not a marketplace.
Crocs.
It's just a headquarters, but okay.
Sure. Crocs, the footwear.
Okay. Has a finance.
Crocs, the footwear. Do you know what Crocs are?
I didn't know. All they wear if not wearing Yeezys. Continue.
I do know what Crocs are.
Okay. Crocs have a Lightning McQueen Croc. It is not a Disney product. It is a licensed product. Every time there is a new drop, they sell for like $400 off the shelf.
Yeah.
Because they have a popular Disney character on them. It's not a Disney product in any way. Disney does not market it. However, this Croc community wants these shoes. I don't understand why. But this game will have a bigger shot, an instant bigger exposure just because of the name on the box. I don't think the first print one will be too big. Now, can it? Sure. Can they print 300,000 boxes and you can just be right and they can mismanage the absolute Jesus out of this? Yeah, they can. I don't think they can miss that hard.
Ravensburger, please don't print 300,000 boxes.
Let me respond to that and tell you that Crocs has a market cap of $4.75 billion on their stock. You are talking about a massive publicly traded.
What a terrible
company.
argument! I bought Crocs for $30 on Amazon Prime Day. Like Crocs has that market cap not because of the McQueen Crocs, because they sell great product. No, like his point is that the McQueen ones are super hot because they're Disney, not because they're Crocs. I can buy Crocs tomorrow for $50.
I can make stupid Disney McQueen. Like the point is that they don't have the money to back the product. They aren't a massive company that has the ability to market, to design, to create a really good product. This is going to be
that's fair. If they don't have the money to back this business, if they're going into this without a plan and without financial backing, they're screwed. I can't imagine that they're undertaking this endeavor without some kind of plan and some kind of financial backing.
The only company of any of these new TCGs that I'm aware of at least, that have a background in game design. In the board game space, in the physical
type
space.
of game, a different type of game. But
so they have to know the industry more than anybody else.
Listen, I come back to, if they are going to have the backing of Disney and if it's going to be a tight knit collaboration with Disney, I'm in.
Sure, if you're just going to slap the logo on a box, it's bad.
The evidence does not portray that. We saw a very poorly done video at D3 at D whatever it was. Mighty Ducks D3. We saw a very
we're done.
We aren't seeing like conversation coming from Disney. If those things start to happen, I will be completely wrong.
D23 is Disney's expo. That's literally Disney's expo. That is the largest Disney expo in the world. What more do you want them to do than give them the primetime slot at the largest Disney expo?
It wasn't the prime time.
It was the headline that night. It was the headline the first night. Thank you.
The first night, was it on like a Thursday night? Is the headline on Thursday night before
night.
The headline Thursday night before everybody got here?
It's a 2-day expo. And the second night is concluded by the CEO discussing the business.
Sure.
So I'm sorry, Louis, that the Ravensburg team didn't get to kick off stage the CEO of Disney to talk about the parks.
This just feels very George Sorcery-ish, where you're like, if they have no business experience and if they have no money,
this is way worse.
If they don't know what they're doing, then the game is going to fail. Like, I think we can assume some of these things to be stable and figured out.
I am not saying that the game is going to fail. I'm saying that before I put my money into it, before I hype all our viewers up about the game, I would like to know more about their plans and what they are doing and what the connection to Disney is.
Okay.
Because we have seen TCGs be connected to massive IPs. Look at the Harry Potter game. We've seen those fail and those not be worth the initial investment from LGSs and from consumers and from all that stuff.
What information do you want them to tell you?
I just want to know what the connection with Disney is going to be. Is this
so let's say Disney has part of the ownership.
Yeah.
You'd be all in.
All in. If they shared I'm not saying that they need to do this. I'm saying that before I'm excited about it, before I'm all in on this product, before I'm telling you, hey, you should go buy $1,000 card, I want to see, is Disney...
I think you can be excited about it without saying that.
Is Disney going to be doing like advertising? Are we going to see things like, again, are they going to utilize Disney
another new TCG that's done any advertising at all whatsoever?
This is my biggest argument. This is my biggest argument against the new TCGs. This is what I'm frustrated by this is what I'm frustrated as a YouTuber. You can't just rely on tiny YouTube channels to push your game. You have to go do your own damn marketing. This is what's frustrating. Was that a yes or a no? I'm sorry. I don't even know what your question was.
So
can you give me any new TCG that's done any advertising? Like what advertising are you looking for?
This is why
ICV2 articles. I'm sure they'll do an ICV. There's already been an ICV2 article.
But George, he's right there, because we've talked about how this game has greater power because it has the Disney IP behind it, and that means there is a greater responsibility that comes with that. You have access to more. We request that you do more because you're going to get a shot none of these other games get.
Here is what mainly Louis fails to understand.
Oh yeah, okay.
the Disney community is like super passionate and super big and super rich. Like, you TCG whales are about to meet some real whales. Y'all about to learn what real money looks like.
Yeah, I know. One person owns like 15 of the sets of the Disney cards.
I'm not even talking about Lorcana. Like, go look what old Walt stuff sells for. Like, it's stunning. Like, there's real Disney whales.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you're going to see the Disney community pump this and discuss this and push this.
Listen, that's fair.
Like,
the expectation to have...
I would bet there's more Disney YouTubers than there are Magic YouTubers, I'd bet. I don't know that. That'd be my hunch.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of demand for this because it's Disney.
Sure, but if...
Like, will any store not take this product? Will any store give their distro the number 0 for this? Other than Louis?
I'm not giving the number 0 for this.
Like, I know Louis won't take it, but I'll take his. But I mean, like, I don't know of a store that's not going to max out their order.
Gaslight.
Why would you take it? It's not going to work. They're going to overprint it. Don't take this stuff, Louis.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying he wants...
exactly what he's saying.
He's saying he wants more information. I'm saying at the same time, we don't get this information from these other games, and we have been positive about other games where information has been withheld from us. But at the same time, we have to expect more because it has a bigger platform. It's on a bigger stage. It has access to give us this information. And this information has a chance to blow the community up. If Disney announced tomorrow, if there was a commercial on your Disney Plus all of a sudden tomorrow, this thing goes to the moon. Right? That platform is available. We just don't know if it's going to be you.
My point is that everyone, a lot of people, the person below me mostly, is saying the Disney name's on this. How could this possibly fail? There's no way that this could fail. Disney's doing it. It's a Disney TCG. It's going to be Magic. Watch out, Magic. You're screwed.
What'd you say about gaslighting? I missed that part earlier. Go ahead.
That's essentially what you're saying.
No. Here's my point.
I said
if any new TCG makes it, it'll be Lorcana.
Yeah, it's got the Disney name on it, so it's going to get a better shot, a bigger shot.
Any new TCG makes it, it has to be Lorcana.
That's like maybe they have an easier shot. I agree with that. I think there's
bigger. They would 100% have a bigger shot. It's not maybe. They have a bigger and better shot than any new TCG because anyone's going to recognize that logo.
George, why isn't that true for video games? Why isn't that Disney puts out a video game and it's just the biggest video game of all time and everybody? Why doesn't Disney go and put out a Fortnite game and it become the number one?
Because there's restrictions.
Game?
There's many reasons, but not the least of which is there's restrictions to what you can do in the game for Disney to get the license, to give you the license. You can't have like shoot 'em ups.
Right, but like my point is that we see these games that come out that don't end up being massively successful. And they have the Disney name, but because Disney isn't the person controlling it. When Disney does something, it is vastly successful. When Disney comes out with a new movie or does it is successful, and that is Disney, and I agree with that. But when another company comes in and gets a license, we're dealing with a completely different field. That's my point.
Let me just say, let me clearly state my position versus Louis' fantasy fairy tale of what my position is. My point is very simple. If Lorcana can't make it, none of the new TCGs can. It's that simple. Like, every store will carry it. A way higher percentage of customers will try it. If they can't figure out how to make this work, I don't know how any of these other games can make it at all. Let's put aside like being one of the big boys. Like, this is like if Lorcana can't make it, I don't know who can. I don't know who can. Like what TCG is going to be close? Yeah, I can't think of one.
Your video game analogy doesn't stick with me because even the Disney video game, they're not aiming to be your platinum A titles, right? They're not aiming to be your Halos or your League of Legends or World of Warcrafts or whatever. I don't know. I'm out of the video game community, but they do get a shot.
They don't have StarCraft.
Like, they get a shot to be solid B titles, right? Like, even the crappy Xbox Lion King game that Disney prints sells more copies than other games of similar quality because it's about the Lion King, right? They're going to get that shot and they're going to sell more product because of that, regardless of the quality. Now, then will people put the game down because the quality sucks? Maybe.
Put in the comment section
That's my
below
fear.
if I could play the Lion King game tonight or StarCraft 2 again.
Josh, you just summarized my concern with this in one sentence. It's going to sell a lot of product on release, but if it's not good, then people won't stick with it. Same thing with the video games. If it's not done right, it's not going to be a success long term. And that's
but unlike video games, we get a second shot, right? There's going to be another release, and you might lose if you got 100,000 people playing the game. You might lose 25% because the first product sucks. But with TCGs, if you have a big audience and a rabid fan base, you get the chance to make adjustments. We have literally seen this with TCGs. If you have a rabid fan base, you get the chance to adjust and change, and they're going to get that chance. Now, Louis, I'm with you. 2 sets in, they do nothing, and it keeps being terrible. I'll be with you. It's not great. But at this time, I don't think it's fair to say it's going to come out, it's going to be bad, they're not going to make any adjustments, and it's going to be DOA.
That's fair.
Again, it's the only team that's done physical games that I'm aware of that's produced physical games. Like, that's it,
though.
That's a different type, but like they understand game design.
Yeah, but
in the physical realm.
Do they understand the TCG market? Do they understand?
So like, but that's different than saying the game won't be good. Like you're using 2 arguments and using them interchangeably where they're not interchangeable. Like,
well, they both have to hit. Though,
they
right?
both have to hit. But you're like, my point is that if you're talking about game design, the game comes out, it sucks. I don't know why you wouldn't trust this team more than any of the 80 Kickstarters you backed before. That's the first thing.
Again, I've simply said that I want to hear more information before I tell everybody.
That's not all you said. That's not all you said. That's not at all you said.
No, I think he has. I think he's been a little bit more doom and gloom about it from time to time, but that's been his underlying point the entire time.
When we see more information for what the team has in store,
referee with you too.
That means that the hype could be real. But the current hype it's all speculative. It makes no sense. That's my take.
The last statement, you could make that whole take and leave out the last statement.
Okay, it makes sense. Like I'm not surprised that the current cards are selling for that. That's not what I'm talking about. But the drive to say that this game is going to be a success, period. There's a lot of question marks beyond that. Is my point.
Because, God, I'm not going to do it because I'm a broken record. Moving on.
Anything else to say, George? Gosh, I cannot wait for Sorcery and for Lorcana to come out and to know who was right. Who was right? Who was wrong?
God, that's the beauty of this world. We're gonna get an answer. Like one day we'll all be sitting here and we're gonna have an answer. Well, also, two of us will be sitting here.
Somebody to go clip the part where George, when Lorcana first came out, and George said, "Watch out, Magic the Gathering! Disney's coming for you."
I'm in
the first thing because I'm here for it, baby. I'm sure he said that, and then he just told me that he was saying it's all about the new TCGs and not about Magic. But
we did a whole segment about what this means for new TCGs, though.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, Louis. You're
all right,
you're spinning like crazy tonight. Are you dizzy? I'm glad you're sitting down. I'm worried about you.
Speaking about nothing happening in the new TCG, that brings us to our next segment. The new TCGs, nothing's happening. There's nothing to talk about.
It's a very exciting segment. No, this is where the comment section is going to type in the comments all the things that are happening that they wish we would have talked about.
Like and none of it. And like, never mind. I will bite my tongue. Like, they will all write the thing that 3 of them care about. Like, the only thing that's like at all happening is like Cryptic is getting ready to ship. They're packaging boxes this week and they're getting ready to ship, which is cool. Good for them.
There was a delay due to the hurricane, which happens. That's why we've talked about it.
Don't worry, Tanner. You have 18 more months before Louis gets concerned, so don't worry.
One podcast without a reference.
I would rather die.
How's your house doing, George?
Flooded. Yeah, that's not even fair. It's not flooded anymore. I wish it was still flooded. Now it's mainly studs.
Yeah,
it's Swiss cheese.
I'm living.
So water
you know that 3 Little Pigs where like the one house is made out of sticks. That's what I'm living in.
Yeah. Sorcery, not really much happening in Sorcery. The games we cover, there's just not a whole lot happening. One of the things we wanted to talk about is like, this is one of the issues with new TCGs is that they just can't keep the attention span. It's hard to keep the attention span constant.
Wow. I mean, like, the problem they have is like Magic does 18 things a day.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about this, like on Louis 8.0. Like the good news is you can type in Magic Alert, Magic into your Google News search. There's 8,000 articles every day about something new they did overnight.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. Like all these companies are fighting for time in a Magic dominated environment. And like, I don't see that changing.
And the majority of them are like user created. It is interactive content made by the community, and this is one of those things that the new TCGs really, I think, struggle with is how do you keep the attention span on your game and away from the other things when you walk into an LGS at any time and there's a commander pod playing the game while you're waiting for your new TCG game to fire. And 3 people show up and you can't fire. Meanwhile, 15 people have come in to buy Magic or Pokemon cards. This is the issue. This is the issue with new TCGs.
Something we could actually talk about one day is like, is this inevitable? Is TCGs can inevitably be a winner take all market where there's a game and the rest? Like Pokemon is kind of in this weird spot where like it's there, but like the gameplay is not nearly as big as Magic. So like is our TCGs, is the market just winner take all, and like there will always be a dominant game and the rest? I don't know. That's just a thought.
Pokemon's weird. I mean, like I don't want to get into it, but Pokemon's bigger than Magic.
You're welcome.
No.
It is.
I think it might be.
It is.
You're wrong. Magic releases 18 sets a month.
That doesn't make it bigger, because I mean we're sitting here talking about the fact that there's nothing to talk about with some of these other TCGs, how bad that is. But I think there's a sweet spot. I also think Magic is doing itself in. Part of what we're seeing in the Magic community is because there's 18 releases a month, right?
Yeah, Magic's in trouble. Morrow, if you need a place, if you need a couch to crash on, hit me up, baby. You can stay in my flooded house. Let's
go there. That's an intelligent place to take that statement. The statement is we are seeing wallet fatigue kick in. It is happening. Some of these products are cannibalizing each other, right? That is
even
happening.
at the printer level.
Oh, Scoopy.
So what would you do if you're a new TCG? How would you keep the eyes on your game? What are some ways that you can accomplish that?
You're aiming to be what people from the Magic community do for fun, in my opinion. This notion that you can't play more than one TCG, I think, is played out. I think it's the worst opinion you can have on the internet right now. If I'm making a new TCG, I'm releasing 4 sets a year because you do need to keep people entertained, and that's difficult. I'm not saying none of what I'm saying is just easy, snap your fingers, you can do. You're releasing 4 sets a year. You're placating to that community, a community that's already comfortable with collecting and playing a card game, and you're trying to find something for them to do on the side and get hooked on. I think that's your target. That's where you need to start and build a base.
That's good. I think part of the issue with the new TCGs is they come out and there's a lot of hype on the Kickstarter or on the whatever. And I think Cryptic is one that's trying to do this differently. Like they were the closest, Genesis maybe too, where they ship boxes close to the date of sale. But I think if you were able to come up with a TCG that you did not even pre-sales, but you said, hey, our first set's here, we have the capital, and then you do a huge promotion and campaign where you can get the card game in the hands. Maybe it is a Kickstarter, but it's like, hey, we ship immediately.
I think your favorite game, Cannabis, is trying that next time.
They're like starting over. They're like, hey, we didn't already do a whole thing, and we're going to release like a whole
kickstart the next set, and you'll get your box within 30 days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like initial launch. Also, not my favorite game. Just for the record.
Everything that's on Kickstarter, I assume, is your favorite game.
You'll back it. I know this. If I'm in for Polywog, I'm in for Cannabis. Louis,
do you want me to just go back? Do you want me to be the one that goes and backs it, and you can just refund me? That way, George will give you a break on backing.
No. They already did a Kickstarter, and I already didn't Kickstart it, George.
I tried. I did not make the cut.
Okay. I have a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, George.
No, go ahead.
I was saying I have a hot take here, and it's not a take that bodes well for me, and it probably doesn't bode well for Louis. I think the TCG community is in a phase where it's shrinking more than it's growing as a whole. I think people are doing other things that aren't necessarily trading card games, and I think that is going to trend for some time. I really do. I think it's really hard for something, especially anything new, to release and be a physical product that requires a group of people that doesn't exist in a digital space to hold people's attention, because people can get that fix so quickly and so easily in a digital space, right? And kind of go about with the rest of their lives.
And this is why new TCGs pumped during the pandemic. And this is a depressing thought that I had about a couple months ago of like,
I think about it every morning.
The pandemic, we were all like, the reason that you could find a place to play a lot of these games because that you weren't going into your LGS. You didn't see the huge commander pods and people playing Magic or whatever. You got interested and you found a content creator online. You started playing. We all had Discord servers. You had nothing to do at night. You sat and you played the games, and it was a fun experience, and it was great.
Listen, that's the reason I have an almost 5,000 subscriber YouTube channel, is because of the pandemic. Like you're totally correct. That's the whole reason that I exist as a creator, is because of that space.
But now the pandemic's over and people have things to do and they're not sitting at home on Discord. And so it's harder to find games. It's harder to find whatever. And you're starting to see how small the new TCGs are compared to other things, and other. It's harder
to budget your time for that. It's harder to commit to, like, this is how I'm going to spend my limited free time is on this, especially when your Magic and your Pokemon are going to cannibalize some of that time.
Yeah, especially at the LGS level.
100%.
George, you seem to disagree with us.
No, well, listen, some of that went a little wild, but like, God bless.
Okay, good take.
I don't like, God, that was like a great time during COVID. Maybe not the take I would make. Maybe not the take I would take. But
I don't know if anyone was that a quote.
More or less. I
don't know. We weren't allowed to have any fun during COVID.
No. So
it had to be like a completely. Nobody was allowed to smile. Oh my God, you were smiling during COVID. You're a terrible person.
Did you watch Hometown TCG or Kitchen Table TCG during the pandemic? There were no smiles. There was no fun. Not allowed.
Yeah, I did not watch either of you during the pandemic. Like, if I were to start a new TCG, I mean, like, this isn't sound cliche, but like. I thought about. I wrote a long post in Louis' Discord that was like 18 pages long, about new TCGs and where they are. And like, the thing I thought about was like, why do some of these games grow? Why do they not grow? All these games need champions. They need people who are like, you got to try this. It's amazing. Got to do this. And like, the more you can make that YouTube centric, the bigger your game will be. And I think the issue with this is, like, I think some of these new CCGs struggle with how they treat YouTubers and treat store champions. And I think, like, if I were to start a new TCG, I would have a list of content creators, list of champions in the area, and be like, this is what I want you to do. And like, how can I help you? Like, what do I need to give you to make you a success, which will help me become successful? I think those relationships are how you grow games. I think like the best gauge for how a new game will do will be how many YouTubers they have, because that's how people will interact with games.
Cannot disagree with you more.
Like,
why?
Cannot possibly disagree with you more.
Because
that's how you interact. That's how most people figure out what games they're going to try.
But we've literally seen a space where the quality of the YouTuber, the quality of the community champion matters. Because we have seen games go after big time creators, and they go after these big time creators. And these big time creators make a video about their game, and they reach out to those big time creators and they say, "What can we do to get you into our hobby?" And they make a video or two, right? I think
I don't think those are champions. Like, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like the guy you pay to pump your latest event. Like, I don't think that helps you at all in the long run. I'm talking about going to a medium-sized content creator, being like, listen, like, you do TCGs. I want people to try my game. How do I get you to help me get people to try it?
And that's great. Except the first exposure you have, you go to a medium-sized content creator. Most medium-sized content creators are looking. They're trying to grow. They're on the path of trying to grow and trying to continue to build. And they make a video about your game. Let's say they even love your game, and they make a video about your game. And that video is not going to do as well as the rest of their content. And every time they put and if they're in a niche, that video is actually going to hurt their current audience. So what's going to happen is that YouTuber that either pivots and covers just your game or gets a bad taste in their mouth, and their whole community does because of your game, right? These things, I like where you're at. I think what the only change you have to make is these creators have to exist naturally, and then you need to reach out to support them. I don't think you can start by reaching out to the creators. I think the creators have to start on their own in your community, and then you need to provide the support and help them grow. The whole rising tide lifts all ships mentality.
Sure,
that's the difference.
I can buy that.
Sorry, that one felt personal.
I think I disagree with both of you. I think if I was a new TCG, I would start out and I would either hire a full-time content creator that is content creation for my game. In other words, creating a channel, working with, maybe it's coming on a channel that's a little bit bigger and introducing the game, but you need a personality connected to your game. And one of the issues with is kind of what you're saying, Josh, of you have to have that personality that's committed and tied to that game, like long term. There can't be anything that prevents that person from making content about your game. And so if you are responsible for creating that content, and if you allow the game to be seen from a personality that's great and whatever on these platforms, and it's not just YouTube, it's also TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You are seeing these companies expect current content creators to make content about their game rather than if you go outside of the TCG industry and you look at other brands and new creations and new things, those people are having their own social media presence, because I want to be involved with something because I see the person that's creating it and I recognize them and I like them and I'm interested in them. And that's what will make me go to my LGS and be a champion about this game. Hey, this person, this team is creating an amazing game. You guys should check them out. And currently you're just like, oh, that YouTuber got sent a bunch of free stuff. Like, that worked in the middle of the pandemic. Don't get me wrong. Like, that worked for a lot of these games. I was part of that. It worked for a lot of the games. But we're outside of that, man. Like, we're outside of that.
Listen, you're right. I think it's important for a game to have, if they're going to lean into YouTube, right? The YouTube's the platform I know it. I know this platform at this point. If they're going to lean into YouTube, it's important for the game or the TCG to have a presence on that platform as well. But I don't think you can do one without the other. I don't think you can have the only presence and then not worry about the other creators. I really think it needs to be a support system. And I think the most important aspect here is that your community is going to be small enough between your creators, your people engaging with your hobby, your company, and then your own in-house creators. That community is small enough where you can have very clean and clear communication and be open about, hey, what we need, what do we want to grow, what are our goals? I think that all of those things have to exist. And then without the pandemic, you can gain the traction and you can take off.
Yeah. It's hard, man.
It's not easy.
It's hard, especially with the different facets of it. We have like Whatnot. Like, some of these games are going hard after Whatnot. I'm like, dude, like, you gotta have more than that. Like,
this podcast is all in on eBay Live, baby.
Yeah.
No, this podcast is not. No, this podcast is not.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
No, this podcast is not.
Yes, it is. eBay Live, baby.
Whatnot coming to you, baby.
All who vote for eBay Live, raise their hand. All who vote for Whatnot.
All who care what YouTube bozos vote for. A failing LGS and a guy who's never opened a card store in his life. Give me a break. I'm in, baby.
Oh, so the one guy who's made a good decision on the podcast. Yeah, let's roast him.
All right. Let's talk about a MetaZoo minute here, everyone.
Is there an announcement?
No announcement. There's an announcement of an announcement. Yeah.
By the time you see this, there'll be an announcement. So just everybody mock Josh in the comment section below about the announcement.
We have an announcement.
And when there's not, oh God.
October 18th, big news.
So negative.
Big news coming this week, starting today. I don't think we got it that day. We maybe got something, but we haven't gotten the big news. If there's big news coming out this week, we don't know it yet. But there are full holo It's focusing on my face.
Back it up. There it is.
There are full hollow auras in the spell books. I thought that was pretty interesting. I learned
That's smart.
that today.
I like that.
Yeah, those are cool.
I don't think those existed in UFO. I know they didn't exist in Wilderness. They were a big part of CN2, and as a store, they were super nice in CN2 because a lot of people wanted these and they didn't want to buy the spell books, and so instead we sold them for like $15, which made the spell book cost a lot cheaper. So
they exist in CN1.
Is that a first edition?
Yeah,
they were only in CN2, I believe, from his friend Louis. Yeah,
no,
Who,
no.
Did Mike send that to you? So help me God, if I'm the only person on this podcast who hasn't gotten a free MetaZoo thing, I will end everything.
Oh, where's my Sid signed card?
No.
I don't have it at hand. I don't have it.
What the hell am I doing wrong? I'm out.
You've seen this before.
Mark Rosewater, hit me up, baby. Hit them DMs.
definitely not happening. Oh wait, you are kind of brown nosing him. It probably would happen.
That's fine.
There you go. Anyway, what else happened in MetaZoo this week, George?
Are you really this bad at selling?
Oh, my bundle. We're not pumping my bundle again. People know about it. People, if you want the bundle, go buy it. CatDeansMarket.com. It's got everything in it. It's
What's
got a
in the
sweet
bundle,
hoodie.
Louis?
It's on the screen. They can see it right now.
Oh my gosh. Next MetaZoo hoodie. Next MetaZoo hoodie. You can buy one of 3. They have each of our faces on it. We'll let the community choose. How many George faces do you think you'll see out there?
More than the other two.
It would make
that's obvious.
Like the nice thing is that whoever's wearing it would appear more attractive. It's like you try to have that friend that's less
George,
attractive.
we're using the
than you.
shirtless screenshot for your picture, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
You're welcome.
George, you're in charge of the
MetaZoo
MetaZoo Minute. What
people pay good money for that?
What else do you want to talk about from MetaZoo? You're in charge of the MetaZoo Minute.
Y'all want to talk about?
The seance release events.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That was
go ahead.
awesome.
No,
that was awesome.
No, go ahead.
No.
I don't think it's this weekend.
It's not, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go on. Go live your
No,
truth.
that's it. Seance
your truth, King.
release event. Go ahead.
No, you're going to interrupt me again. I can see it in your eyes.
Not.
You are. I can see it in your eyes.
No, that wouldn't be funny. It would have
That would
gone.
be. So do you want to think about? Okay, good. Do you guys want to talk about there's
So
a new
funny.
trend of having gameplay competitions at conventions. I know Genesis tried it, and MetaZoo's talking about doing it at Comic-Con again. Do y'all want to talk about that and whether or not I think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Do you mean tournaments?
Yeah, what did I say?
Like gameplay competitions?
Yeah. The competition.
You are the worst.
Like, and you guys roast me on my take. You guys don't understand players at all.
Would you guys like to compete at this convention?
Would you like gameplay competitions of sorts?
Would you like to compete in a
I
gameplay?
only play StarCraft 2. I don't understand what you guys don't understand about this. And now, except for tonight, when I think I'm playing the Lion King game. If you're watching this, I'm probably playing the Lion King game tonight.
When you play,
God, I love that game.
Disney owes me money.
Oh my God. I want you to know, though, when I play it, Josh, and it's terrible, I will never forgive you. I want you to know, like, in my head, it's amazing.
It's not.
And when I play it and it's not, I will blame you exclusively.
It's not.
So I think that those are a good place for events if they're built around the weekend and not during like the main events.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I think if you do a gameplay event and it's on, I don't know, like Saturday night at 7 o'clock, like that type of thing where it's in the evening after the convention's closed. I think that makes
close
a lot
to my
of sense.
bedtime, though.
I think that makes a lot of sense. But if you're doing it at noon on Saturday, that seems like not the right time to do that kind of stuff because people want to go and be involved in the convention or whatever.
I think that's fair.
Probably.
What about?
Go ahead.
Oh, what about like casual, just open play space?
I think that's great. Everybody supports that.
Yeah. I think that might be the way to go. Or short event, something that lasts an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe.
You could have MetaZoo from MetaZoo or whatever game, but you could have MetaZoologists there to teach people how to play. God. That would be really good.
That would be cool.
All night tournament. You start after the con, and you have to be finished by the time the con starts. All night. Make it a special fourth wall effect.
That sounds exhausting.
It's horrible.
Yes, that's literally the point. It's overnight. The whole point is you're exhausted.
You still can't go to the convention then. That's the kicker.
Yeah. Don't come to the convention without showering, gamer nerds. Well,
No.
also
You
stay
know
here
what?
all night.
I don't care about that. Don't let your freak flag fly. All right, I'm not here to judge you.
No, shower, please. What?
This all follows. I've been around George. I've actually met George in person.
This is a
highlight of your life.
Podcast.
Highlight of your life.
Yeah. Maybe not my noses. Just joking. You didn't smell.
Learn to play area.
You had COVID at the time.
That's
Listen, a learn to play area.
That is true. You got it. Got it the day before I saw you.
That's true. I did get it.
That is absolutely true. Like,
maybe, I think you gave me COVID.
No, I didn't have it. My wife made me test every 5 minutes the next week because you got it.
Yeah. I think there's cool events to have at those things. I just think like you have to make them different enough from the con.
God, no, MetaZoo is such an easy one. MetaZoo is it's all about these auxiliary products. You literally take the people that are interested in the auxiliary products, the t-shirts and stuff like that, and say, hey, to get a t-shirt, you come play a learn how to play, and you walk away with a starter deck. You want this pin?
I think
the pins are big. Okay.
I don't support that. Mike, don't do that.
How dare we have people play the game?
No. You want to play the game? I support it. But like MetaZoo's bigger than that, man. Like you're not going to grow MetaZoo by having people play the game.
It's not right now.
It is. They sell more things than just the cards. It is that right now. You want some jewelry? Mike's got your back. You want a backpack?
Josh,
I got your back.
Josh, it's bigger than that, but it's smaller than the print run. That's the point.
But it's bigger than that, but not one item's not bigger than that. The argument is every auxiliary product is bigger than the TCG. I'll buy that. But the backpack's not bigger than the TCG. The jewelry's not bigger than the TCG.
His point is that like Pokemon is bigger than just the Pokemon players. MetaZoo is bigger than MetaZoo players.
Sure.
But and the Pokemon gameplay market doesn't really kind of affects the prices of cards, but not in a terrible.
But because it's bigger than the players, you don't want people playing the game?
No, I'm not saying you couldn't be allowed to play the game. Like, so bring people here. I'm also opposed to Mike saying, I want to play the game. No, get out of my booth.
So bring people in and give them the exposure. Say, hey, this is an opportunity to get the thing you like and get exposure to the core thing.
The question is it the core thing?
Right now it is.
I don't think
the auxiliary product can't be the core thing. It is literally the auxiliary product. That is how we refer to it.
Okay, just because you call it the auxiliary product doesn't mean that it is.
I kind of fall in the middle of both of you guys. Like
nobody cares.
Okay, you two fight it out. Josh? Is this what you do during the podcast? You just sit here.
Wow.
No, like this is your role. You just like when do you get to interject?
Wait, okay, you both have your hat backwards, so I know you're cool.
No, I'm saying when George and I are fighting, how do you handle it? What do you do?
I wait for my window. I let you cut me off 4 or 5 times, and then I say screw it.
Facts.
Okay. Screw it. I think you're both wrong. I think I think that MetaZoo needs the players to grow the game. I think they should have learned to play booths. I assume. I don't remember if they had that at Collecticon when I was there or not. I think they had like a place that you could go, and I don't think it was in the convention hall because it was so small. But
let's draw them in. Let's draw them in with something.
But like Josh, there's people who don't want to learn how to play.
You guys want some candy?
Like there's people who don't want to. There's people who don't want to learn how to play a TCG that can enjoy the hobby of collecting. Do you require everybody who collects baseball cards to be a baseball player or know how to play baseball or be able to hit a pitch? No, like people collect baseball cards because they enjoy
people selling baseball cards don't care. They don't care if you play baseball or not. The people selling MetaZoo products care if you play MetaZoo. Mike would prefer everyone who buys a MetaZoo product to also play MetaZoo. If you gun to his head, if you had a preference,
I don't think that's.
I suspect that's true, but I don't think it's a heavy preference.
I don't think that's true.
But like, why? What is? I don't understand what the harm is. So you do have some people that have no interest in playing the TCG and just placate you and just show up and they half-ass their way through a game and they get something. But maybe you get some people who are aware of MetaZoo who also experience the game and like the game. Like, why is that a bad thing?
Well, I'll tell you why it's a bad thing. First off, the lines are already incredibly long and hard to get. And if you make everybody play a 30-minute game before they can get through the line, the lines will go until 6 years from now. So like if you want the opportunity to get the promo and the card or whatever that you went to the con for or part of the con, then you won't have that opportunity to get it.
It doesn't have to be the promo that you come to the con for. Maybe it's a specific pin from this. So there's a pin that you can get.
That's not.
Or maybe it's a patch. Yes, I did. I said give away some auxiliary product to bring them in. That is.
I hope it's not a pack. That might mess up Louis' dyed sweater.
I think that's a good take then, Josh. If that's your take, I'm on your side.
I'm not on your side, but I don't really care that much.
Of course you don't. It's playing the game.
I think I think George is like a professional MetaZoo player.
Semi-pro.
That's pretty sweet.
It's not true.
Professional.
It's not true. It's not.
I qualified for the last Make Your Tournament. Did you? No.
They made a Will Ferrell movie about you, I think.
You know what? Will Ferrell, almost always funny. Somehow Semi-Pro was not. It's amazing.
Yeah, that movie had a lot of misses. There's a lot of misses in that movie.
You guys have terrible taste in movies. That movie's great. I love Semi-Pro.
Like that cannot be your go-to Will Ferrell movie.
No.
Top 3.
No chance.
What?
No, not a chance. Not a chance. Just 75% of our viewers don't know who Will Ferrell is too, by the way. That's also true.
They never played a game of Magic. I've heard about them on the Morrow podcast before.
Top 3? I think so.
No.
What's
we all know
than
number
that?
1 is Talladega Nights.
I mean, Talladega Nights is in there for sure.
Wait.
I mean, Anchorman.
Louis.
Anchorman's a movie.
Louis.
Like Anchorman is a movie.
Louis. This is the worst take you've had yet on this podcast.
Talladega Nights is significantly better than the Semi-Pro.
Please tell me. Please, Louis, just lie to me. Lie to me. I'm fine with
lie
that.
Lie to the viewers. Don't be
You
honest.
have to tell me Talladega Nights is better than Semi-Pro. You have to. It's a law.
Okay, I will condemn. It's close. I'll give it to you. Talladega Nights.
Give it to him.
So here's my problem with Talladega Nights. It's my dad's favorite movie, so like, like I kind of have a
Talk to
natural.
Carol about that. We don't care. Okay,
It
continue.
doesn't make it bad.
But like,
So your dad's got great taste in movies.
well, it's like we just watched it. Like, we just watched it too much. I've just seen that movie too much.
That is the only.
Anchorman.
I almost got kicked out of the movie theater when I watched Talladega Nights. I went with this girl who was a friend of mine, and like I remember watching the movie, and I was laughing so hard. I was like legit worried I was going to A, pee my pants, and B, they were going to kick me out. It was like the only time, other than like Tommy Boy, that like I had like such uncontrollable laughter. I could not stop myself.
I spit water out during The Hangover. Like I spit water at the person
first
in
Hangover
front of me.
fantastic.
You know what? Hangover for another
oh,
yeah.
Like,
all right.
Hangover 3 wasn't that bad either.
All right, we're done with the podcast. This is a great way to introduce. I would like us to do a second podcast where we talk about all the things that we had to stop talking about. Because I could talk about Will Ferrell movies for 4 episodes.
Anchorman, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, Old School, A Night at the Roxbury. Like, sorry,
Louis,
I'm just gonna go with a
Louis,
couple
please
here.
tell me. Please tell me Semi-Pro's not in your top 3.
It's in my top 3. I'm like the
Like
movie.
Elf.
Elf is better than Semi-Pro.
God, no. There was you guys are so meta. You're so meta.
You're so meta. What?
You're so meta. I think the Office episodes are better than. No, I can't say that. Will Ferrell's Office episodes.
That was one of the worst. That was one of his very few misses.
Oh, massive miss.
They were
Horrible.
awful.
Yeah, their chemistry was.
Yeah,
it was. You might as well call.
It was not there.
You might as well
So
call their
bad.
chemistry biology. It was terrible.
That wasn't bad. As far as dad jokes go, solid
do
6.5.
not listen to Josh. That was
solid
terrible.
6.5 in
That
dad
was
jokes.
terrible.
Solid
All right,
6.5.
everyone. Thank you for being a part of the podcast. At the end of the seance bundle, or at the end, here's more seance bundle. Go buy it.
Top 3?
Yeah.
Blades of Glory is better.
No. God, no.
Yes.
No.
Than Semi-Pro? Yeah.
No. God, that's close.
Thanks for watching the podcast. We're so stoked that you guys chose to be here with us. Remember, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're not already.
If you already haven't unsubscribed because you didn't stop, because you stopped watching
If you're still here, let us know what your favorite Will Ferrell movie is, and let us know where. What's the movie that I like? What's it called?
Semi-pro.
Where semi-pro ranks in your Will Ferrell movies. Have a great day.
You're such a content creator.
Remember to be kind to the people around you, and may the zoo be with you.
And also with Will
Also
Ferrell.
with you.